Hello, everybody. My name is Coleman. I am a certified educator in personal finance, and I work with the City of Boston Credit Union. So, what being a certified educator in personal finance means is I studied really hard, I took a test, and I got certified to be able to give you guys sort of information of kind of higher level personal finance, kind of goals, tips, and knowledge for you guys to use going forward. Unfortunately, what that doesn't mean is I can't dictate what kind of stocks you may want to invest in, kind of investments in tax law and things of that sort in general. But the information I can give you is definitely very beneficial to you. We'll start at kind of the basics and we'll work through a couple of topics here. I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy, staying home. And then at the very end, a little bit more of a topical discussion. We'll kind of go through how you can manage utilizing the stimulus check that you may have received. So, along with this presentation, I've included some of the resources that we typically use, and we'll kind of follow along through the PowerPoint along with some side information. At the end of this, I will include all my contact information, and I am more than willing to help answer any questions or anything that you think you need a little bit more information on. So feel free, and we'll kind of jump right into it. Kind of the stage one of how this is, how to get really back on your feet if you may have dealt with some hardships, or even if you just want to boost your credit score and kind of get to another tier so you can apply for a better rate for a loan or anything of the like. So we'll really just dig in and we'll work our way through. And the real specific stuff, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than willing, and the credit union is more than willing to help you with some of those answers. So on the first slide here, if you want to turn to the budgeting slide, budgeting is obviously the foundation to financial success. So a lot of people think that they can pull it off by doing it in their head. I wouldn't really recommend that. I've always said that writing it down or having an Excel spreadsheet or just even keeping track of dates on your on a calendar are even better ways to kind of really stay going with it and stay on top of your budget. So the very first way that I would recommend going against establishing a budget is on one of these handouts. It's actually page 6. You can start tracking your weekly kind of budget, be it income and then expenses, and then you can kind of utilize that little, even if you use it as an exercise, you can use that to kind of build out a monthly budget, maybe a quarterly budget, and then at the end a yearly budget, kind of to establish your short, medium, and long-term goals going forward. But it's just a great place to start and really start getting into the habit of this. So you're going to start by listing your current income and expenses. You can use that budgeting worksheet that I mentioned, or you can just do it on a side piece of paper, Excel spreadsheet, however you feel comfortable. And then what you're going to want to do is for periodic expenses, such as kind of vacations, you might want to determine the annual amount that you might need. Say you take a beginning of the year and an end of the year vacation, and you know that might come out to be, for example, $1,000. So you would divide that by 12, and that would kind of give you a base idea of how much you should save per month to achieve your goal of being able to take those vacations. All right, so the number one rule of the budget is that your expenses should never exceed your income. If they are, that means that you're actually losing money weekly as opposed to being able to build up a good savings and really achieve kind of long-term financial success. So don't fret if that may be the case, or even if it may be the case just 1 week per month or something like that as you're really paying bills. A lot of people do find themselves in situations like that. But the overall goal that we are going for is to have your income exceed your expenses. That way you're able to continue your savings, achieve all those goals that you've set forward, and really kind of get to where you want to be in terms of your financial wellness. If that isn't the case, that you're seeing expenses are typically more than your income, you got to start thinking about ways that you can make changes to that. Are there ways that you can earn more income? Excuse me. Maybe driving an Uber, maybe picking up a second job, maybe kind of doing some work around the neighborhood if you're younger. Those kind of ways can really kind of boost your income. Another kind of more practical way is to really see what kind of costs that you are incurring that maybe you can either get rid of or significantly drop. So if we want to flip to the next slide on the post, I'll give you a few examples of kind of ways that you can cut down the spending, and it's just a good visual representation of kind of where your money may be going uh, to extents that you might not be aware of. It's actually very eye opening, and a lot of people are kind of appalled by where the money is really going. Okay, so on this next slide, as you can see, we have some basic spending examples for you. The number one, especially here in Massachusetts and the city of Boston, that you'll run into is a daily coffee. So maybe a medium or a large down at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks might run you about $3.50 a day. So as you can see on the side, that adds up to almost $1,300 a year. Whereas you could make a one-time payment on the cheapest model of a Keurig for $50, and then per month you may only have to spend $20 to get you through the entire month with your daily coffee. And as you can see, $20 a month adds up to $240 a year, whereas that $1,300 you could be saving yourself almost $1,000 per year, a little over actually. So another perfect example, very expensive in the city, but expensive pretty much everywhere, is buying a daily lunch during the work week. So that could range from anywhere between $10 and $15 per day. If you look at it, we'll go on the light side. If you look at $10 per day, you're spending about $2,400 per year for a 5 day a week lunch. A solution that's really easy for that, go to your local supermarket, wherever it may be. You could buy a pound of store brand deli meat and a loaf of white bread for $10. So that $10 per week might add up to $520 for the end of the year. That's savings of almost $2,000 right off the bat. So the idea of this is to kind of just get you into the idea, or the thought process, I should say, of finding where your money can really come down, your spending. If improving your income isn't an available option, there's typically many ways that you can bring down your level of expenses and kind of try and narrow that budget down to breaking over and having your income exceed your expenses.
And with that, we're going to wrap up lesson one with basics of budgeting. As you can see here on the screen, I'll leave my contact information, and we hope you tune into episode two, where we'll begin to talk a little bit about debt repayment.